Sexy Beach. We need more videos. Like, just get them somehow.
I totally agree with you, but I can't find any more videos of it. So maybe if we just import it, $20. I found the link.
All right,
very cheap.
wait. We can't be connected to it in any way, but
I need to import it. We need to import it.
Whoa! Wait a second. It's Ryan
with the DS.
With the DS.
Yeah. I thought you only played PSP games.
Well, that's usually the case, but I play DS occasionally. It's not my favorite.
What do you got?
It's Brain Age.
No, not Brain Age, dude. Hotel Dusk.
Hotel Dusk? Hotel Dusk? Holy shit, I'm coming over. So...
Yeah, kind of like it. I think it's kind of good. And
It's-
by kind of, I
it's
mean
kind
really freaking good.
It's kind of one of the best DS games out there right now.
Kind of one of the best DS. I think it is absolutely the best DS game that's out right now.
It's basically like the game that I was like, man, this is why I love the DS. When I was in college, I took a pop literature class, and so we had to read a lot of romance novels and science fiction stories. And one of the things we had to read was like pulp detective novels. And at the time, I'm like, pulp detective novels, I don't care about this crap.
Right.
And I read The Maltese Falcon by Dashiell Hammett. And after reading that, I'm like, this is one of the coolest books I've ever read. It was so awesome. And while I was playing Hotel Dusk, I was like, Hotel Dusk is basically like The Maltese Falcon in an interactive novel. The characters themselves are like, not only are they realistic, but they like look like normal people.
Yeah.
And they talk like normal people. Like the localization is so good. Back to the whole gritty detective novel. Like the way to describe things, like they call a gun a piece. They call money scratch.
Yeah.
It's like little things like that. It's like,
But it doesn't feel forced either, and that's important. Like, they could have fucked it up. Like, they could have used the proper lingo, but the writing could be bad. And,
it's true.
but it's not. You say that this is the type of game that makes you love the DS.
Yeah.
The fact that there wasn't a game like this was the reason I didn't like the DS.
Yeah.
Like, the DS, like, has so much potential to be this platform that's, like, takes games in existing genres and, like, reimagines them and makes them perfect for this exact system. Once you start playing, as soon as you start solving puzzles, like, that only use the touchscreen, or like writing yourself little notes so that you can remember things later, or you know, like just that, writing notes. Like how long have I wanted a game where I could like write notes to myself? It's not that this game's perfect, but it's like it does so many things right that like the negatives don't matter, and I feel like developers could learn so much by just playing this game, and not only in the adventure genre, in any genre. Like imagine if like an RPG developer played this game and realized like, oh, like this is a better way to handle conversation in games, in our games. Like these characters feel much like more animated and like full of life than any like RPG portrait you would ever see. The fact that this game has a complete 3D engine that like works, like moving around isn't a hassle. You don't ever think about like, oh, the camera's weird here, or any like that doesn't ever come up, you know? I'm not a big reader. I don't like reading books. Like I like playing video games, I like listening to music, I like watching movies. But like this game, it's like the experience of reading a book, except for I get to play it. The story is fairly linear. Like even though you make choices in dialogue, you know, like it's a linear game. If I had more of an impact over the outcome of the story, if it really did like totally change and you had a lot of control over the actual narrative, it would be better.
If you say the wrong things, you can actually have a game over screen.
But that's the thing, is like it just ends at a game over. What if instead of ending at a game over, it like led to a different outcome in the game?
It would have to be more of like a Mass Effect kind of like dialogue tree system,
Exactly.
which I think would be amazing in this game as well. Hotel Dusk does a really amazing job of like kind of directing you where to go without like slapping you on the wrist and saying like you need to talk to this character right now. Like and then it gets to the point where you know the hotel enough to be like, if they were gonna hide something, where would it be? So you're like, all right, let me go check this out, and sure enough, you'll find what you're looking for.
In old adventure games, like you'd have to like hump the side of the walls to find that one doorknob that you were supposed to open. Well, in this game, the things that you're allowed to look at, like it's very obvious what you should be looking at. And then what's nice about it is like you can check out every object in the environment. Like maybe you're looking for a sticker that's on the side of a television screen, and like they let you rotate the camera just a little bit to find that sticker. Maybe there's 3 tables in that shot as well. And if you click on the table and like get him to say something about it, he'll say, "Oh, it's a nice table." And then you click on the next table and he says something different. It's not the same damn phrase. Like it encourages you to like look at every single object in the environment.
The dialog's pretty funny too. I mean, you go into the bathroom, you'll be like, it's like, well, looks like it's a toilet, you know, like.
Yep. Big surprise, fucking toilet in the bathroom. This is your first 10, right?
This was my first 10.
I mean, I don't like scoring games. I don't like putting scores on games, but like. I think everyone who has a DS should play this game. So
yes,
sure, 10.
I agree. It's more or less my way of saying like, you know, this game is like something you would have overlooked.
Yeah.
Look at it. So as far as the other scores go.
Yeah. What were the other scores?
Jen gave it an 8, and so did Jeremy.
8.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. 8s.
Man,
let's go
figure out.
Yeah, let's go talk to.
They're talking about.
Let's go talk to.
I heard you guys down the hall.
So Miss Jennifer,
welcome to my world. I gotta talk you down a little bit. It's a video game.
Yeah.
Not a book. And I think a 10 means that the gameplay is so compelling, unique, creative.
So you're
maybe
saying like
a little bit.
So you're saying like the awesome story and like the way like the awesome way he utilizes the touchscreen is not compelling at all, and I just kind of like is playing as some like.
You don't think it's revolutionary? People have done very ingenious things with the DS before. The touchscreen implementation on a game like Brain Age or like Electroplankton or even something like Trauma Center is like, it's smart, and no one's been able to do games like that before. But, you know, those games don't always tickle me that much as a hardcore gamer. Like, for me to get a pre-existing genre, and like have it spun perfectly for this console, for this.
DS has a lot of quirky, interesting games with weird stories.
It's not quirky. Quirky is the wrong word. It is not quirky.
Well,
it's serious.
If you look at Phoenix Wright, Phoenix Wright is like this similar type of game, but it does things that are like so much better than Phoenix Wright.
Quirky is the wrong word. Unusual.
If you look at any like role-playing game, where like the story's okay, but what's like the most common complaint with role-playing games? It's a cliched story. It's like save the world, blah blah blah. Or like with this, it's like it's not like that at all. Like Contact and stuff, yeah, I mean those are kind of cool, but they don't have that kind of like visual appeal and that kind of like maturity to kind of like bring it out to, you know, like a mainstream audience. Where I can see people playing Hotel Dusk. Why? Because it's almost like you're arguing. It's almost like an interactive novel, and so I can see maybe a mom or a pop thinking like. And accepting this game, because Phoenix Wright, like they'll look at that and be like, oh, this is for kids, it's too kiddie, it's too niche. But like Hotel Dusk, it's
totally
like it's just enough game for gamers, but just enough like casual appeal for casual people.
I totally agree with you there. The touch screen aspect of it was too much of clicking next. I don't like having to wait for text to appear on the screen, and since, as we know, the story is really important here, and I loved the story, and I think that's what it gets a lot of points for.
The text does move slow, and you kind of wish you could like speed it up and that sort of thing. You know, like I play a lot of shooters and like action games, which are like not like this at all. And to find a game where, you know, like I've played for 5 hours already. I'm not that far, and like, there's no combat. It's not like I'm, going to wield a gun, and like, this is all about reading text, walking through, exploring one space like pretty thoroughly. It is a slow-paced game, but that's kind of what I like about it.
There aren't enough puzzles. There's too much reading. I mean, there's a lot more reading than puzzles.
You're complaining about like the fact that like this is a like pretty much a interactive graphic novel.
For the gamers out there who are wondering, what is it about this game that I'm gonna love? The story is important, and if you're into film noir, if you're into detective, you're gonna love it more than if you're just looking for like a cool story and cool puzzles. Remember, 8.0, good score, award-winning score in EGM, rare score to get. A game should be thrilled to get an 8, 2 8s.
You just hate black and white. Is that what it is?